What started with the question of whether or not the girls could wear that hijab into the classroom is now becoming a question where a lot of constitutional issues, including issues of religious freedom, have been thrown into the debate. Before I come to those larger questions one by one, my first and foremost direct question to you, Ms. Soman, for the benefit of our readers, viewers, what according to you is the core issue here?
I found your opening remarks very interesting, Smita ji. And in a manner of speaking, you have referred to a lot of the core issues which are at play here. So first and foremost is about the right to education of the girls, which is a fundamental right granted by the Constitution. And this whole question of right to religious freedom and expression in terms of dressing being part of it, that is another dimension here. And I think the second and the most important dimension here is also about the fact that we are a multi-faith society, the fact that we are a secular democratic country, and the kind of politics of religion which is going around all, and it is engulfing all of us into its fold. So there are two or three key issues here, and you were very right when you said that, you know, it was what could have been or what must have actually been a small matter of discipline within an educational institute, which could have been sorted out, you know, much ago, has now exploded into, I'm sorry to say, it has exploded into some kind of a full-fledged conflict, you know, between Hindus and Muslims, and a lot of political organizations, a lot of religious organizations, again on the both sides, jumping into the fray. And in all this, you know, the most important part is the education of the girls that is being forgotten. And you know, this blanket holiday, it has led to a blanket holiday across all schools and colleges in Karnataka. The students have, you know, barely resumed their studies now after COVID, 2 years after COVID, and you know, yet again, you know, we have closed them. So I think there are 2 or 3 dimensions, and for anybody, Smita ji, there can be a lot of politics going on. And
okay, allow me a brief cross question here, Ms. Soman. We all share your concern about the worries that it is the way it is impacting the education in the state, and there have been protests have spilled over to other states. So nobody would really want this to, you know, snowball any further. However, when you speak about the right to education, ma'am, clearly there is no question on the right to education. I mean, nobody has hampered the education or the right to education of those girls. Why do you think the question of right to education comes into play here, if it does?
Yeah. So see the in a way the crux of the matter is that the parents would not allow the girls to go to school without hijab, and the school will not give them entry into the classroom because of hijab. So these kind of hardened and very polarized two sides, ultimately is the girls' education which is suffering. So, you know, this is the point I want to make, Smita ji, that away from the arena of politics and away from the compulsions of political parties and their electoral strategies and all, we as ordinary Indians, we may be Hindus, we may be Muslims, we may be Christians, we need to look at this issue in a very humane, and if I may say so, in a very long-term and very judicious manner. Do we want to, you know, do we want this thing to continue escalating? And do we want, you know, the future of our kids, the future of our daughters, and thereby the future of our society and the future of our country to be sort of, you know, caught up in these kind of religiously polarized...
All right. Point taken, ma'am. Point taken here. You are saying that this may not be about the right to education per se, but if the school insists on the hijab and the parents are also not, you know, of the mindset who will allow these girls to come to classes taking off the hijab, then it may ultimately impact their right to education. Now, that is also one of the questions that is within the purview of the court petitions. And I'm sure in their wisdom, the judges will be coming to a conclusion soon.